kind of put closure to Saturday afternoon. Obviously not the results that we wanted, by no stretch of the imagination. We knew coming into that ball game we were going to have to play physical. We were going to have to create some turnovers, and we were going to have to play a style of football and at best at every phase of the game. That was our challenge to our guys, and just to see what our best would be like. We hadn't yet to play our best football coming into that ball game, so our challenge was let's play our best. We played really good defensively, and we have haven't played as well offensively or special teams wise, so that was our challenge. Just be our best, and if our best is good enough, then that's let's find out at the end of the day. And but we didn't. That wasn't our best football. We've yet to play our best football from an offensive side. I thought special teams in some areas was better, in some areas was worse. It wasn't as consistent as it needs to be. Defensively, you know, it was spurts. They did a lot of 3 tight end sets, and, but we knew that was going to be coming. That was that we were going to have to line up and play physical football. That's kind of their brand. They're going to line up and hit you in the mouth, and you're going to have to respond. And I thought at times we did well. At other times we were out of our gaps. We got reached on the edge. Their tackles reached us. Got the ball outside. Their stretch play was definitely a concern going in because of how big their tackles were, and so and the stable of running backs that they've had. But we didn't overall, from the top to bottom, we did not match their physicality, and it showed. We couldn't. One of our keys to victory on the offensive side of the ball was keep our quarterback clean, and we were far from doing that. They disrupted him. While I think Ben Hicks played better, he showed a lot of resiliency. He showed a lot of toughness. He stayed in the pocket. He got up after he got knocked down, and he had a couple of bad throws that I wish we could have had back. But with all that being said, you're still in a situation, 35-14. You're driving the football, and we've got a guy open in the middle of the field to cut it 35-21 right before half, a 2-score game. And that's all you ask for. With a little bit of momentum going in at half, you get the ball to start the second half, and our inability to protect our quarterback was just was unbelievable. And we knew we were going to be out a couple more starters, so we had some guys in there that we had some freshmen in there. Bryce Wiles is a redshirt freshman that from a depth standpoint, that he was forced to play. A young man that's going to be a really good football player here, but you know, he's a redshirt freshman playing right tackle, and he did some good things. But the game was fast for him, as it was for several of those guys up front. And we moved Tony Richards, which was playing tight end as late as 2 weeks ago, and moved him to tackle, and have been working him at the tackle position. We had to do is use our running back to help Tony's side in pass protection when he did exposed our right side. We moved Chauncey over to right side from our left tackle, and our inability to hold up on the right side was evident, and that's where the pressure came on that. We had an opportunity to score. As we shared with the team, you got to be able to make plays. You got to be able to protect your quarterback, and we didn't do that. We had Xavier Jones had an opportunity to come in, give us a spark. We were excited about getting him back. He had 4 carries, averaged 6 yards a carry. Gave us a spark, and he goes out with an injury. And so it's just what you deal with in football. It happens. You know, eventually it'll stop, and you get some type of continuity of who your 11 guys are and play consistently with them on an offensive side of the ball. I think that has something to do with our inability to get in a rhythm offensively. But again, it's football. You got to make plays. Cortland Sutton's got to make plays. I didn't feel like he made plays that he should have made. You know, I thought that we saw some production out of James Prochet, but you know, we've got to get better. We've got to get better running the football. To win in this league, you got to run the football, and we're unable to run the ball and unable to keep your quarterback clean. That's tough. You put a lot of pressure on your defense, and while they continue to come up with interceptions, which is good. We've got to play more physical on the defensive side of the ball, and keep pressing the envelope, pressing the needle in that regard. So, with that being said, it was a ball game where you're 0-1 in conference. You go up Friday night, to play a Tulsa team that is much improved from last year. A Tulsa team that is will have their conference opening game. They came off an open week, and so but our guys will be ready to play. I can promise you that, and we're going to be much better than we were this past week, and we'll continue to improve. And that's what you do. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
What is it like playing not only are you have a short week, but you're playing a team that has a week off.
Well, it is. You just deal with it. You look at your schedule and you just deal with it. It's just one of those things. There's nothing I can do. I'd spend too much time and energy worrying about something I really had no control over. If I do that, not enough on Tulsa. And so, you take it. To be personally honest with you right now at this stage in the game, I'm ready to get back out to practice. It was we had our team meeting yesterday, which was we call it it's the accountability Sunday. It's the truth Sunday, and it's an opportunity to say what it is. And for our guys to get back out on the field is something that I'm excited about. I said it in my press conference after the ball game. Eventually you're going to get tired of walking in a locker room with that feeling. There's going to be a group, and it's going to be this year, there's going to be a group that's going to get sick and tired of walking back into a locker room with a feel of not playing your best. You train, and that's what I can't understand. And but you spend 90% of your time through the course of the year training for 12 days. Why in the world would you let one of those days go by and not give your absolute best, or not be at your peak performance? Hey, look, you're going to play bad. Everybody in the country plays bad, but to make some of the mistakes that we made, and I know you're young, but I think we're 5 games into this thing now, and I don't get it. And so that's the challenge this week to our guys is, look, you get 7 more opportunities. You work as hard as anybody in the country. Our strength staff puts our guys through as much as anyone in the country, if not more. And everybody works hard. Everybody's on scholarship. Everybody works hard across the country. But why would you let one opportunity pass you by? And so, I always say it, and I say it all the time. In order to care more, you got to give more. In order to give more, you got to care more. It just kind of works hand in hand. And so, I really want to get full pads on today. I'd love to get out there and just knock heads all day long, and let's go. Let's go get it. But that's not the right thing to do. We don't have the depth for that right now. But it is. It's time, especially with our older guys. And let me just say this, as I shared with the team last night. We've got some guys on this football team right now, some of our older guys, and even some young guys, that are playing as well as anybody in the country. And when I say that, I mean playing exceptionally well. We just don't have enough of them. And, we've got to have some guys take some responsibility on the offensive side of the ball and take great pride in making sure that your quarterback, which is getting better, he's improving each week. And that's evident as of you saw him last week against a Temple team that was very physical. Just get right back up, stand in the pocket, deliver the football. Now again, he's getting better, but he, along with several others, hey, look, there was a plan in place to get them ready to play when their time gets set. And we just didn't anticipate that some of these guys would be in the role that they're in, and there's nothing we can do about it outside. You got to go play. You got to grow up on the fly. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some of our more experienced guys on the offensive side of the ball. Be real honest with you, they're not toting the mail, really. They're not. And I'm either going to replace them with some red shirt fresh or some freshmen that I'm gonna pull a red shirt off of, because I'm gonna promise you, I'm gonna get those guys for 4 more years. Now, that's not the way you wanna do this thing, it's not, because you expect your older guys to be more mature and ready to go, but if that's the effort I'm gonna get that out of a freshman, because I'm gonna have him for 4 more years. You can call it the hot seat, you can call it putting everybody on high alert, whatever it may be, it's the truth. And but to have our quarterback getting beat up like he got hit the other night was unacceptable and will not be tolerated in this program. It's the first pillar of our culture, which is called accountability. So we're all in this, and we're all going to get it fixed. We got to coach better. We got to work harder. We got to do everything. Everything's got to happen better from the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we got to continue to create turnovers and play physical. And so, but with that being said, that's where we are.
Do you have any update on your offensive line health?
We expect to get Daniel McCarty back this week. Nick Natur, we'll wait and see. We don't know. It'll probably be, we'll see today at practice where he's at. We anticipate Evan Brown. We anticipate him playing this week. We'll see on that. But Daniel McCarty will for sure be back. We hope that Keaton Bates has been practicing for a couple of weeks, just hasn't been ready. We hope that this is the week that he's ready. He'll give us he'll give us some depth there. So we'll see. It's just kind of wait and see right now.
You got 2 guys you're considering on whether or not you're going to redshirt. Who are those guys?
Yeah, Kadarius Smith at tackle and Jacob Tador at guard. Those are 2 guys right there that are practicing, that are traveling. That we actually had a discussion in mid-game the other night about is now the time to go ahead and pull the red shirt, and it wasn't. And I said no. It's not the time. It's not right for these kids because, again, at this level here, you can destroy a kid's confidence in a hurry, and it takes you games and even sometimes a year to get their confidence back. And this is far more different than what some of these freshmen have been used to, and so from where they came from, even though they played some great programs. So, we're gonna put them in. They're gonna get plenty of reps this week in practice, and if we need to, we'll be ready this week if that opportunity arises. Again, these guys have been practicing with us. It's just they're not ready. If that makes any sense. It probably doesn't make too much sense, but they're just not ready yet.
Are you also trying to balance to future of your program with burning red shirts 5 games in?
You look at it that way. You would love to redshirt them. We'd love to redshirt them all, but there's no possible way. But the future is right now, in my opinion. I mean, we're not. It's not fair for me to sit here and if I thought that these freshmen right now would help us win, we would play them right now. Because these seniors, this is their final 62 days, and their opportunity to get into a bowl game and achieve the goals that they've set for themselves. So, and it's my job to make sure that we put the best out there on the field and providing they're both mentally and physically ready. And so we're going to continue to work that. But at the same sense, they may not get to the point to where these guys are ready. They're going to be really good players for us. But so we'll see. We'll see how it goes this week.
Talking about getting sick and tired, that feeling. I know it's a lot of on the guys themselves. But where as a coach and head coach, do you commit to that, or think differently than it's?
Well, no. It's not on the guys themselves. It's on everybody. Every coach, everybody from equipment managers to water people. It's on everybody. It's everybody to bring their best every day. And you know what? That's all I can ask. That's it. Success, the definition of success in our program is your ability to be at your best every day. And if your best, if that's your best, then you were successful. And only you know that. If our best wasn't good enough on Saturday, I'd have loved to have found that out. But if our best wasn't good enough, I would have walked in that team meeting, I'd have walked in that press conference and said, you know what? We played our best that we've played to this point in time in the season, and it just wasn't good enough. And some days in life, your best just isn't good enough. But I'd have loved to at least seen it, at least experienced it. And in order for that to happen, you've got to have accountability. And so every person's got to tie three things together. They got to tie their mind, their body, their craft, and their mind all together to be at your best. There's no level of football that you can just go in and flip the switch on game day. It just doesn't happen. And but it's about everybody being at their best. And if we can get that, hey, look, that's successful to me. And if I'm worried about the wins, then I'm worried about the wrong thing. Winning is a byproduct of being at your best on a consistent basis. If you are, you're going to win more than you lose. I can promise you that. And but again, with some of the guys, not all of them, because as I shared, we got a lot of guys, defense side of the ball, and a few on the offense, but mainly defense side of the ball, guys are playing as well as anybody in the country. I think Jordan White's playing as well as anybody in the country right now, to be honest with you. And I think he sees the game slowed down, he's playing well. Did he make mistakes? Absolutely makes mistakes. But this guy plays with great confidence, and and Darren Malines is another one. You got Horace Richardson's another. I mean, Zelt Minor's playing as well as anybody on our football team. And so these are guys that are playing well. Deion Green, they're playing well. Lawler, but we've got to have some guys on the offensive side of the ball that say, you know what, I got to be at my best. That's it. And we don't need excuses. But this is not on them. This is on everybody. Every coach, every person, everybody. And when you finally get sick of it, you know, and coming into this program, taking over this program, understanding that, hey, look, we're building this thing, but somebody somewhere is going to flip the script and say, we're sick of it. And we got guys running wide open. We got to protect. We got to catch it when we throw it to you. We got to run the right way and stay on your path. We got to beat one-on-one in the open field. That's football.
You mentioned all the hits that Ben took and the fact that you had a redshirt freshman at one tackle and a converted tight end at another tackle. How much does that limit what you and Coach Craddock are able to call just in order to get the ball out of Ben's hand? And
yeah, quite a bit. A whole bunch. A whole bunch. It really does. We have to really scale back. And so, yeah, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You want to get good at something. And we've been challenged with some moving some guys around, like putting a puzzle together from an offensive side of the ball. We've been challenged, and so when you get challenged on something like that, you have to scale back. You have to simplify. You have to say, okay, here's what we can do. Let's get good at this. And if this can give our players the best opportunity to be at their best, that's all you can ask for. And so yeah, it has, especially in some pass protection. You know, to give him the confidence, and you know what, those guys, they're going to be fine. But it's just we got to help them out along the way, and that's part of everybody. He was saying everybody taking ownership of this too.
Xavier, is he going to be okay?
Who's that?
Xavier Jones, is that the same injury, and if so?
No, it's not, and he's not in. He won't be in this week. It doesn't look like it. It's a shoulder injury, and so we don't know at this stage where we are with it. You know, it's unfortunate because this guy's worked exceptionally hard. He's been up and down, and it's very frustrating for him and for everybody because he knows the caliber of player that he is for us is and the leader he is. You know, he and Braden work really good together. I mean, they're a great 1-2 punch, and so what that's done is forced Braden to be the lead guy, the number one guy there, and the every down guy. And so we'll see. We'll see on Braden or Xavier. I don't anticipate him being in this week. It doesn't look like it. But so then we'll just make a decision on how long and then what the next step is. I don't have to make that decision today, but we'll just see. We'll go from there, and in due time, then we'll make a decision where we're at with him.
Looking to expand your package a little more with Cayman and quarterback too?
You would like to, and he'll continue to get reps, and especially in practice. But he's a really good running back,
Yeah.
and Coach Craddock and I and spent a lot of time talking about this. What's best for this football team? I mean, where are we at with it? Especially when you're down, your lack of depth in the running back position. So we've moved Meyer and Gilliard. Myron will be on we'll move him. He played running back in high school from wide receiver, so he'll get started. He's still going to play wide receiver, but we're going to get him some reps at running back this week in practice, just for some depth purposes. It'll be a natural position for him. He'll still play wide receiver, but we are going to expand his role, but we're also understand that he provides us the best opportunity to win being a running back too.
You've talked ever since you've been here about doing things at a quick pace, a high tempo. With the lack of depth at offensive line and at quarterback, do you want to slow that down now?
No, I don't. I really don't. I want to play fast, and I don't. Now's not the time. That may be a time down the road, but now's not the time to do that. I think we're playing well enough defensively that we can continue. We can play fast. Playing the pace of our play is not the problem. It's being able to execute and not necessarily execute, being able to do your responsibility that you've been asked to do. So no, we're going to continue to play fast. We want to play fast. That's who we are. I felt like I got away from who we were a year ago, and I vowed that we wouldn't do that. So I'm not going to do that.
How does your schedule and routine get altered with a short week?
Yeah, we'll be back on the field today and tomorrow, and we just normally we go out on Sunday and take Monday off. Monday's our off day, but because of the schedule of what it is, our off day this week essentially will be Saturday for our players. We were in here yesterday, team meetings, lifting, running, and then we'll on the field today and tomorrow, and I guess it'd be that Wednesday, and then travel Thursday. Anybody else?
Do these Friday games impact your recruiting?
Yeah, they do. They really do. You really like to get your guys out, get them on the road, get them out recruiting. You only get so many days when you're out in the spring or fall, and so what this has done, we've been out 1 weekend. But what this will do, which is good, it's not a bad thing right now. It really loads the back end of a high school schedule and our schedule for recruiting, and so. Usually in the back end of the games, or the back end of the season, you got a lot of high school games, a lot that become meaningful games. It's getting late into district play, and so we'll spend the majority of our recruiting will be in the latter part of the season. While there's been a lot of schools that have already been out and used the majority of their days, and so you do. It's just you have to deal with it. The conference gives us this schedule, and you have to. Played a Friday, a Saturday, and back to a Friday game, and then we go into an open week, and then we go 6 straight weeks on Saturdays, which is we'll finally get into a regular Saturday routine. But it does.
What are some of the challenges that Tulsa brings you?
Yeah, extremely fast offensively. Dane Evans, their quarterback, is playing as well as any quarterback we've seen, throwing the ball really effective. Lucas, the wide receiver number 2, he a young man that got hurt last year, did not play against us. Really a dynamic, playmaker with the ball in his hands at wide receiver. He's Kevin's been playing for him. He's a senior. They've got a couple running backs that have been very effective. They're obviously staffed. Coach Montgomery came from Baylor and very exactly what Baylor does. They've tweaked a few things from personnel stance on what they do, but they've done a good job. The one thing that they've done, which keeps coming back over and over, is anytime they get down, it doesn't faze them. They were down 31-0 against Fresno State and battled back and won. They were down and played an Ohio State team, really, really tough. I mean, it was a 6-3 ball game late in the first half, and in the rain, and they wound up throwing 2 pick sixes right before half, and gave up some quick scores right there. But they're 3-1. They're playing with great confidence. They were 3-1 when we played them a year ago, and so they're doing a great job. They got defense from a defensive standpoint. Jeremy Brady, their safety, he's a senior. He's a returning starter. He's playing really well for them. They got a little bit of size up front and move well, well coached, and you know they're a better football team than they were a year ago. 8 returning starters on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they're playing well. They're playing with great confidence. They believe in the system. So we're gonna have to play our best. We are. We're gonna have, everybody on this football team is gonna have to bring their best Friday night and meet the challenge that's been issued out to them. And you know, we need to get this thing back to 1-1 in conference play. This is a pivotal week for us, and make no bones about it. And our players understand that. And so get this thing back going into open week with a win at Tulsa would be huge for where we are at this point in time in the season. One of the things we talked to our team about was a year ago this time, there were 36 teams that were 2-3, 36 of them. And of the 36, 16 of them turned it around, and or I shouldn't say turned it around because it wasn't a loss, but 16 of them rallied and took them to a bowl game. And 11 others were either 3-9 or 2-10. At this point in time in the season. So right now there's 26 teams or 20, I think there's 27 teams in the country that are 2-3. So if you play the odds right there, there's going to be somewhere around 15 teams, 12 to 15 teams that are going to find a way. And it's just a matter of you're going to be one of the 12 to 15 teams to find a way. It's going to have to come from us. Nobody but us. If it's going to be, it's got to start with we. Been pretty straightforward.